is certain criteria for conducting discourse analysis, right? And that criteria has to be fulfilled by a discourse analyst, right? By a critical discourse analyst rather. In this lecture, we'll talk about certain areas in the field of critical discourse analysis, areas for research, right? How can we conduct research in the field of critical discourse analysis? Then we'll talk about certain criteria for doing critical discourse analysis, because a person has to fulfill certain criteria in order to be able to analyze certain discourses from quote-unquote critical discourse perspective, right? So we will talk about criteria, and then there are certain stages. Remember, these stages are much similar to those of a scientific research study, because while conducting a scientific research, we first have to identify a problem, then we have to state a hypothesis, then reviewing the literature, then collecting some data, and then analyzing the data, and finally stating conclusions. So these are the 5 steps which are actually involved in conducting any scientific research, right? Here are some other points as well, which are specifically, and you may say, they're specifically or exclusively related to the field critical discourse analysis. And we'll talk about the general points which are related to conducting any scientific research study, right? So we'll talk about those stages one by one, and that is actually a major concern of today's lecture.
Yes, sir.
Areas of research. See, there are a number of areas. We know about discourse analysis, we know about critical discourse analysis, right? So we may analyze a discourse from the perspective of, you see, discourse itself, where our focus is on the language itself, on the organization of the text. If you remember, before the midterm exam, there was a surprising, rather kind of shocking test. If you remember, right?
Yes, sir.
So, you see, what was that test all about? It was about the way language is organized, and that is what discourse analysis primarily deals with, right? So when we make an attempt to explore power relations, abuse of power, right, misuse of power, dominance and subordination in discourses, then we enter into the domain of critical discourse analysis. So you already know about the difference between discourse analysis and critical discourse analysis, right? Are you here?
Yes, sir.
Mentally?
Yes.
Please be here. Okay, I want you to please be the Shabazz. Right. So first let's talk about criteria, and then we'll talk about